that dock from coming up. But enough of talk. Game number 4 coming in. Take us in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 4 in this series between MarineLorD, who spawns in the north of the map, playing the Rus, opening up with a scout from the town center, dropping down a lumber camp on his wood line immediately because this is Confluence, this is a hybrid map, and he's going up against, down towards the south, a Delhi player. You may have heard of him. He goes by the name of TheViper, and he's going to be playing in the color red, doing the same thing, lumber camp for him as well. Looks like he has also opened up with the second scout, so we are definitely seeing this double scout as the standard in almost every single matchup, every single game. Viper actually going to place down a dock, cancelling it, rebuilding it. 2 villages out here? Did I see that right? Was it 2 villages or just the one? No, it is 2. He's gone for the double villager dock, the double dock villager. He's gone for 2 villages. That's more than 1. That's more than you'd expect, Lidakor.
Yeah, 2 is usually more than 1. And as we discussed before the game, this is the cross-walling idea of MarineLorD. He's going to hide his fishing ships in this corner. And as you said, the best way for Viper to counter this would be to just send a villager here and make a forward dock. For MarineLorD, to prevent that, he needs to start adding scouts and make sure that Viper can't build that dock. Because if Viper can't get that dock up, the Delhi fishing ships won't be able to do any damage at the beginning.
Yeah, and we can already see that he is on top of that. So MarineLorD out here harassing these 2 villagers before they're able to get out onto the map, and a smart move by him. Viper on the other side. I'm curious if we could check his line of sight. No, we don't even need to. We can see right now that he is going to spot that, and that wall should indicate what is happening. He should know that there is going to be a dock behind this 100%, and as a result, it means that he needs to get up there, and he needs to get up there right now. So I'm curious to see on the other side of the map, or on the other side, do we have any crossings that are being walled up, or any villages heading out towards there from MarineLorD?
Nope,
Doesn't
nothing
look
at
like
all
it,
so
no.
far. Looks like the scout isn't even going to get the villager killed. Instead, it could aggro 2 wolves, and that could be pretty nice, denying 50 bounty from MarineLorD, because one thing we haven't talked about is that you gotta grab bounty over here for your MarineLorD, and you have the HP advantage over that scout down south. Viper, he's actually trapped in here.
Not
Viper
good
is
for
trapped.
Viper right now. Yeah, this isn't good. I don't think he realizes that he's trapped, but he's about to... There it goes. That is a very big early loss. That's not something that you would expect a player like Viper to make, but obviously being stuck in a very difficult situation there, undoubtedly would have told his scout to move to the north, and he's issued that command, and it subsequently just turned around and said, well, I know there's no way out from that way. You know, it's one of those few times where the AI knows better than the player, and as a result, the scout runs past his enemy and dies.
And the reason why this is so impactful is because, as you said, if Viper ever wants to get a forward dock up here, then he sort of needs those scouts to escort that villager around. Now that there is just 1 scout out there, MarineLorD can easily repel any kind of aggression like that. In fact, there's a second scout for MarineLorD that came from the town center and not a hunting cabin. There is not a single hunting cabin up right now for MarineLorD. Currently he's at 220 bounty, and he's about to take down another patch of huntables for 70, plus a wolf for 25. So spectacular start so far for MarineLorD. Really, everything is going the way he imagined it would.
Yeah, the interesting thing to note is Viper never moved out towards this dock, and that was something that I pointed out before the game started. If he wanted to utilize that Delhi advantage in every single hybrid map, it is to get over there with an aggressive dock nice and early, because it's going to be difficult for your Rus opponent to stop that. As you mentioned, he might need to have scouts over there to look to deny, and we actually see a quick, short second that MarineLorD was housed, but look to deny that dock from actually going up if possible. But because we see right now that there's 4 fishing boats out for MarineLorD, he's really happy with that. You know, the fact that he's got 4 fishing boats out, he's not being denied water at all. This is great for him.
This is spectacular for him. If you look at it, as you said, untouched fishing geek over here. And of course, he also managed to get a ton of bounty. So it's 300 and he's still bringing in wolves. He's got some sheep to work with as well. So he will get to 350 without any major problems as well. Looks like we do have villagers being sent over as well to take down that wolf. And what are those villagers up to? Another dock potentially?
Yeah, this is curious. Oh my lord, he's going for a Kremlin on the corner, baby. I did not expect this at all. This is something that you very rarely see. The Kremlin is made in, I would estimate, 99.999% reoccurring, of course, games played by the Rus. It's very rare to see this landmark coming out. And the fact that he's going for it in a $20,000 final match, this is wild.
Yeah, it basically is the Barbican of the Sun concept over here. You want to have vision over here, you want to have a building that's capable of taking down ships, and especially early on, this could be pretty nice. And the thing I love about it is that the Kremlin, let's talk about this building because many people might not even know how it works, simply because it's rarely seen. It is basically a wooden fortress that's a little stronger. So it is going to affect your lumberjacks just like a wooden fortress, and the reason why that's so cool is because you can just keep these villas in here and start chopping trees and have that affected by the Kremlin as well. It also allows you to garrison these villas into the Kremlin to fire arrows whenever needed.
Yeah, it's a very smart move. Look, I like the direction he's thinking, but at the same time, I'm just like, well, the Golden Gate is so good. Why would you ever not go for the Golden Gate? But look, all right, we'll give him 10. We'll give him 10 out of 10 for creativity. We'll say that much. But now MarineLorD heading down towards this crossing, going to be preventing his opponent Viper from actually getting the successful wall up. Viper at the same time going to be dropping down his own landmark. It looks like the Dome of the Faith is about 60% of the way through at the moment, so managing to click up pretty close to about 6.5 minutes. He'll get up there. Not too bad of an opening for him.
Yeah, that's gonna be decent timing out there. Villagers will be able to finish the walls, so the Lloydja ships won't be able to break through. And there's Lumber Camp for MarineLorD indeed. Looking at his resources, and given the fact that he's got a defensive structure out there, I wouldn't be surprised to see him going for a fast castle style approach here, but somewhat unusually for the Rus, they will have to mine gold here because there is no Golden Gate to sell the resources on, so the only way that you're getting to Castle Age is by mining some gold. He's floating a ton of food, and now indeed, Rus mining gold, a thing that you don't frequently see.
I didn't even realize the Rus could make mining camps. That is wild. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that is strange. So he's deleted his wall here. He's got the Lodger attack ship ready to go out onto the map. But look, I would say at this point in the game, MarineLorD is at a significant advantage. And part of the reason why is simply because he is able to maintain his fishing economy. And we're 7 minutes into the game right now. So 99% of the time, against a Delhi player on this map, you would have lost your fishing economy probably at like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. MarineLorD somehow managed to hold it, so he's doing very well. But keep in mind, Viper is walling up the crossings at this point in time. He's got spearmen that are out, so I wouldn't be surprised as to whether we see him look to take the sacred sites. Now, keep in mind, he's playing the Delhi. He's got Sanctity that he can research, and once he gets that out and about, he's going to be able to collect 600 gold a minute. That's not too bad.
That's not too bad at all, and it's going to be a very nice way to capitalize on the map control, because one thing that MarineLorD isn't really doing is contesting map control. Looks like Viper will lose the scout, and then the Spearman will survive. I love that move from MarineLorD that he retargeted the tower to kill the scout, because the scout can heal up and the Spearman cannot, so it's more valuable to kill the scout rather than the Spearman here. And this Spearman, so far, is completely unaware of this operation over here. Viper doesn't know that those docks are out there for fishing. Lloydja attack ship now moving in though, and that's gonna be a couple of dead villagers here from Viper. Make it one, and the tower is also going to be denied.
Yeah, this is a really tough position for Viper. And this is really what it comes down to. This is part of the reason why with the Delhi it can be very cutthroat. You, in Age 1, completely destroy every other civilization when it comes to these hybrid maps, but as soon as Age 2 turns over, you lose every single sort of bonus that you had. And now it's going to mean that Viper is probably going to be losing control of this crossing, going over to MarineLorD, going up and against an attack ship. There's not going to be much that you can actually do. Your forces are going to get absolutely melted. Take a look at that Spearman, how quickly it goes down. Look how fast the villages are going down as well. It looks like Viper going to have to sacrifice a few villages here. One of them does go down. A second one does actually go down inside the outpost. It drops down to 4 out of 5. When there was that 5th villager inside, oh my god, that feels absolutely terrible.
Indeed, that hurts quite a bit. Now with the tower up though, the fishing geek of Viper will remain safe for the time being, but the thing is that even though he's going for Sanctity, how is he going to be able to contest 3 out of the 4 sacred sites when his opponent has water control? And it very much seems like that the IB opportunity is already coming up. Viper conveniently spotting that with the Spearman, so Viper knows what's up. And we will have another dock coming in on the left side. Quite a lot of fishing geek from MarineLorD as well, so he definitely took over in the fishing department as well. Viper only on 8, whereas for MarineLorD he's got 9, 13, 17 fishing ships.
And he's dropping down another dock because, hey, why the hell not? Yeah, MarineLorD looking very strong at this point in time. Now, as you mentioned, it's going to be hard for Viper to actually hold these 3 sacred sites, especially if he doesn't have the water. But keep in mind, he's got these spears out, so he's going to be able to prevent any sort of aggression on that front. But those spears, unfortunately, getting stabbed, and they do all go down. Back onto the gold mine, at least for the moment. Keep in mind, he doesn't have the golden gate, so he's not going to be able to trade out for that gold. Unfortunately, going to have to mine it the good old-fashioned way.
Couple of ranges coming in here for MarineLorD, so we could see some horse archers hit the field soon. But really, the unit that you want to see here right now from MarineLorD is demo ships. He can't break through this position with just arrow ships because the tower is going to kill them. But demolition ships are a completely different story. It looks like we're going to have some ships converted here into demos. Not sure if you want to waste your demolition ship on just 2 spearmen, though.
Not really wasting it, Lidakor, because it'll be able to take down that wall immediately as well. So once he hits the Q on that, it's going to take that down to 0. There she goes. And it looks like there's a little bit of a gap in that wall. It does still have a health bar above it, so I think it might be alive. But yeah, slowly but steadily going to get picked away. And yeah, we'll be down and out.
Yeah, I confused the walls over there, but that was the plan for Viper, to try and prevent his opponent from going out for relics. But, well, the walls were never finished, so the warrior monk can start rolling out for relics. Viper capping these sacred sites right now. He's got one on the right side. His own one isn't taken yet, and we're seeing quite a lot of stone being mined. He went up with the House of Learning, so no Compound of Defender for the time being for him. Warrior Monk will contest the Spearman, but he's gonna have to retreat for the time being. Should be able to get back home with the Horse Archers supporting.
Yeah. At the very least, he could have thrown out a wall of lol for us, but it doesn't look like he's going to need to do that today, managing to deal with this Spearman very effectively with the Horsemen, or the Horse Archers, rather, and going to be able to neutralize this sacred site towards the east of the map, and yeah, that's going to be the one sacred site the Viper actually has that he's going to be losing. So, plenty of resources in the bank at the moment now for MarineLorD. It looks like he could even be heading towards a fast Imperial. I really wouldn't be surprised with a player of his caliber on a map like this. And now it looks like a Wallalol is going off, gets immediately just picked off so damn quickly from these Lodger attack ships. Not even close, Lidakor.
Yep, the demolition ships managed to blast their way through the walls. Tower is doing a ton of damage on those Lodger attack ships. Like, towers are very underrated structures against combat ships. They can sink those really fast. You need a couple more demos to try and destroy that tower, but the walls are burning, so the next couple of demos could easily destroy that tower. We'll have to see if Viper repairs those walls. So far, it doesn't seem like it's going to be the case, so the walls will just burn down. This relic is also now available to be taken by MarineLorD, and he's going for it as we speak. On the left side, we have a dock up for Viper. He's getting a Bugla out, something that's going to be a reasonable response to the Lodger attack ships. But, of course, MarineLorD is going to have the window to get some demolition ships out there.
Yeah, now coming in, looking to pick up that relic. He's going to be able to beat off his opponent. You can see how slow those warrior monks go, though. Do we see a Wallalol potentially come in? Unfortunately, it looks like it is going to go down before that Wallalol gets off. The relic once again getting taken out. So that's a 1-for-1 over on this side of the map with this relic. MarineLorD's taken him out, Viper out once. Viper's taken MarineLorD out once on this relic. It is definitely a point of contention so far.
The first Bugla is about to sail up the river, so MarineLorD is going to need something that fights that, but this is where that Kremlin comes in. Quite convenient. Also, Demolition Ship is moving in. Bugla opening up on that. Kremlin getting some nice shots in. 2 Demo pops out, and with the Kremlin, you're going to sink that Bugla without any problems.
The demo ships are perfectly balanced and do not need to be changed at all.
Of course, it was the Kremlin.
It had to be, but we can actually see he's getting the Springald emplacement now for the Kremlin. That's going to give him a lot more leverage in the center as well. Is that the first time that Viper's seen that Kremlin? I think it might be.
Yep, well, it likely is. Relic is going to be taken here by Viper. Currently, he is on 0 relics, whereas for MarineLorD, he's already on 2. He wasn't able to move out to the left side just yet, but I think we could see even a transport ship potentially. Now, as he said, Springald emplacement is going to help out against that Bugla quite effectively.
Yeah, what's the range on that? 9 tiles of range. No wonder. It looked like it fired Wallalol over to the right-hand side. Doesn't manage to come off just yet. MarineLorD unfortunately losing his Warrior Monk for the 2nd time in this game. That's the 3rd time that relic has gone down. They're having fun with that relic, aren't they?
Exactly. Some Buglas moving up on the left side as well. And you see a lot of ships being converted here. Demolition ships, attack ships. So a big push is assembling over here. Lord attack ships also having the extra HP on them now. It's 600, so they're much tankier than they used to be. And the plan is probably to break through over here. 2 Buglas guarding the crossing, some Lancers as well. MarineLorD wants to smash Viper's fishing eco. That's sort of depleting this limited amount of shorefish that's still here.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult for Viper to hold on to this. The demo ships in particular are what are going to do so much damage. And now we see the Horse Archers also going to be moving through as well. Backla's got to be careful. The first one's going to be going down. Second one almost going down. Those attack ships are moving through past the outpost. The outpost is going to continue firing down. The fishing ships are all that remain now for the Viper. He's going to be losing his entire fishing economy at the same time that his stone cutting villages or stone mining villages are going to be getting taken out. And it doesn't look pretty right now for Viper, losing all of his water economy. Going to be losing all of the potential control on the water here as well.
The Bugla is still alive over here, slowly grinding down those Lloydia attack ships, but at this point, MarineLorD is the one harassing Viper's eco, whereas his own is completely untouched. There's a demolition ship queued up here for Viper, which could sink this entire fleet from MarineLorD. For MarineLorD, leaving this position is difficult because of that tower being out there. Looks like the Horse Archers will slowly get cleaned up, but MarineLorD was able to inflict a lot of damage on Viper's eco. Currently at 69 villagers for MarineLorD, very nice, as opposed to only 44 from Viper.
Yeah, this is really tough. 25 village difference, not to mention the relics. Obviously, the sacred site has also been captured for MarineLorD now as well. Viper, on the other hand, only got the 1 for himself when he could have probably had 3, but demo ship going down there. Viper not really paying attention, unfortunately. Second explosive Dow going to be coming in. Doesn't look like he's manually focusing it to explode, so it's not going to get that huge damage ring that we do typically see. And now it looks like the Lancers are going to be trying their best to clean up this act over towards Viper's primary island, his main island of defense. But going to be losing that sacred site as well. You can see MarineLorD neutralizing it here. Coming in also doing a bit of an attack, a cheeky attack on these berry gathering villages. Oh, Viper not looking good right now, Lidakor.
This is looking really grim for him right now. He lost his water control, and now there is just a free entrance into his base for the Horse Archers. And the key thing here is that MarineLorD is completely untouched. His economy is completely untouched here. His fishing, his gold income, he has a second town center coming in for him as well. He's got the relics under his control. So really, the problem for Viper right now is that slowly but surely MarineLorD is grinding him down. And you see the Warrior Monk is coming in. I wonder, is there a relic on this side that we didn't see, or what's the plan here?
Oh. Yeah, it looks like he's just going for the sacred site, but there was a part of me that thought he's just rallied his Abbey of the Trinity over towards that left island, and it's just running the long way.
I mean, it's possible. He's going to try to capture that sacred site. It's an A for an effort, but an F for an execution.
Yeah, not too pretty. But now it looks like the majority of fishing boats moving up towards this northern position, and Viper slowly going to be having this wall taken down as MarineLorD begins to build up these knight numbers as well as those horse archer numbers as well. He's got plenty of fishing ships still out here, and it looks like Viper's still with a backler out at the moment, but it's going to be made very short work of, unfortunately.
Exactly. You don't even trigger the demo. Love that from MarineLorD. He knows that this Bugla would be destroyed by the attack ships anyways. There is no point wasting a demo on there. On the right side, you have the sacred site in the hands of MarineLorD. And as you said, slowly but surely, those walls on the left side are being taken down. And the fact that the Rus don't have to drop off the fish at their docks also helps MarineLorD a lot here. Because this way, he doesn't need to constantly build docks closer to his fishing eco. He can just do whatever they want. Demolition ship now moving in, but with the Spring Golden placement, the Kremlin is going to open up and do a lot of damage before it even gets to its target.
Yeah, that Kremlin itself it's got to be careful. Once it gets to the late game, those demo ships are going to make very short work of it. But now demo ship going to be moving in, manages to take out the 2-for-1. I'm not sure exactly what type of ships they were. It's always so difficult to determine with the Lodgers, but the backler over here towards the base of Viper going to be going down as well. And now moving down towards this southern crossing. Got to be careful with that demo ship though. If he does get too close, he will be able to take him out, and unfortunately going to be losing it there. Viper in a tough position down here, Lidakor.
And now Knights are coming in here, even with the tower being here, even with the Bugla being here. Every once in a while, a couple of units from MarineLorD can get to the base of Viper, and they can do some damage here. Demolition ship now coming in here from the Viper, and that's a big group of Horse Archers that could be sunk there.
That is a massive amount of units that are potentially looking at crossing, and they're going to be very careful. They're going to time this perfectly. They're going to make sure that there is no units nearby. But speaking of units nearby, it looks like Viper, heading up towards the base of his opponent, manages to create a gate, get through, and onto the wood line of his opponent, forcing those villagers out, and they are no longer going to be able to gather. They are unfortunately all idle, and yeah, they're heading back towards that town center. Viper doing a pretty decent job here of forcing that out, but MarineLorD does make it successfully across the crossing, and now he's going to deal with the base of Viper, and Viper got to find a way to try and deal with these this cavalry, because this mass is beginning to build, and MarineLorD looking incredibly strong at this point.
Indeed, MarineLorD is looking incredibly strong. Both players are on 2 town centers, but Viper is at 69 vills, MarineLorD at 82. Viper slowly catching up on the villager department. His army is yet to be cleared up. MarineLorD, on the other hand, doing quite a bit of a damage here on Viper's eco, especially if he hits those berry vills. That could be great. No more villagers can be garrisoned inside that town center, but it looks like MarineLorD will retreat for the time being, which gives a window for Viper to recover. The more I'm looking at this game, the more I'm feeling that Viper is slowly regaining his strength here, because the villager discrepancy is getting smaller and smaller.
Keep in mind that as Viper is playing the Delhi, all of his tech is for free. There was a moment not too long ago where we saw all of his tier 2 technologies coming in behind this. So I'm talking about his wood chopping, his mining, his food gathering. All of those techs came in, and those are all free. Those are bloody expensive technologies. You are going to be forking out a lot for those. And Viper paid absolutely nothing. So you're 100% on the money. The longer this game goes on, I feel like the more in favor it's going to be for the Viper. But keep in mind, MarineLorD, obviously on the Rus, it is a civilization that is incredibly strong as the game continues on. Some of the strongest demo ships in the game, the strongest Springalds, the strongest hand cannoneers. Horse archers are obviously pretty good. They've been nerfed recently, but it's something that Viper's got to be very cautious of, taking a game late game up against the Rus.
Looks like MarineLorD is slowly adding some farms to his economy as well, working on the berries too. He's got a ton of wood and gold in the bank, but he just doesn't have the food at this point. As on the right side, Viper's going to try to neutralize that sacred site. On the left, there is still a dock up here for Viper, and this is something that MarineLorD never got rid of. This is pretty annoying for him, because Viper's got some fishing ships nearby, and Viper also has the window to pop out buglaws or demo ships every once in a while. Right now, there's a buglaw queued up on this dock.
Yeah, it's looking difficult for him to try and get back up onto the water, but he's managed to get a decent amount of cavalry up in towards this north position. From MarineLorD's perspective, though, he's got plenty of resources to play with. You can see he's got a heap stacked up at the moment, 64 villagers at the moment on food, and barely any food in the bank. You can see he's just making so much. He's got a huge income, and dropping down a whole bunch of infrastructure. When it comes to the town center count, so we've got 2 versus 2. Is that right at the moment, Lidakor? 2 town centers for each player?
It's free
we
for
got 3
MarineLorD
TCs for MarineLorD. Okay, so MarineLorD one-upping the Viper when it comes to economy. Got to be careful there, Mr. Viper. Probably going to need to throw down another one. But, I mean, players are getting slowly towards that 100 villager mark, and that's really where it starts to be less impactful to have that extra town center. But now we see that MarineLorD's starting to think about getting up to the next stage. You can see he's getting very close to that 2,400 food.
Exactly. He stopped making the army for some time. That's going to give a window for Viper to do some damage, because Viper is going very heavy on the Lancer department now. Having those stables be boosted in production by those scholars definitely helps. And the fact that MarineLorD's base is not walled up on the left side could be a concern. He's now making those walls happen though. And of course he's got the water control, so demolition ships could also be part of the plan. But as you said, he's going up to Imperial Age, and that is going to be the high armory coming in for him. Bugla's opening up on the Kremlin, but this is where the Kremlin comes in very handy, as well as the demolition ship charging in and sinking both, most likely.
Yeah, down they go. Pretty good value right there, 2 for 1. I think that's what I got at McDonald's last week, but that is absolutely great work for MarineLorD. He manages to get that. Now going to be facing a potential threat up towards his eastern flank. As you can see how fast these knights are burning through the walls. A couple villagers coming out, looking to heal this up. They're going to be going up against the animation cancelling. No demo ships out just yet. 8 seconds on this bad boy. This could be the end of the game right here, Lidakor. If this one manages to go off, Viper is paying attention. You can see he's got the units. He is microing them. He's paying attention. The demo ship comes out. Viper, got to be careful. He manages to get away just in time. No damage taken on any of those units, but he realized he's had a very close call with death right there. That was almost a little too close for comfort.
Bagla also gets through the fire of the Kremlin here, so many of the fishing ships are suddenly in trouble. Emergency conversions out there for MarineLorD converted quite a few of those fishing ships into combat vessels, so Viper once again won't be able to cross here with all those archer ships out there. Another Bugla pushing up the middle, but now we're getting to Imperial Age, and that's where a whole lot of other technologies open up, namely explosives. Talk us through the explosives tech here, because that is something that's going to be a massive factor here.
All right, well, look, it's difficult to explain exactly how explosives work. So I'm going to do my best to tell you guys through the power of a 1990s pop song, The Venga Boys. Boom, boom, boom. The lyrics go a little bit like this. Boom, 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 boom. That's it. That's essentially it. It is going to be crazy. You're going to start to see huge amounts of explosives just everywhere. It is going to be ludicrous. Lidakor. Let me just tell you that much. In addition to that, we've got the Cedar hulls that could potentially come in for MarineLorD. Going to give his boom boom ships a little bit more boom, a little bit more bass. So he is undoubtedly looking forward for that. Also got the Clinker construction to further increase the health. He's just got, I think you can get demo ships with about 900 health on them. It gets pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's the trade-off that you're having, because you have no ballista ships for the Rus, so obviously their demos and their archer ships are much stronger. Here come those demos with explosives, and that's gonna look ugly.
Yeah, this is where, yeah, there she goes. Somehow, I have no idea how those fishing boats died. Where did that come from? Looks like there must have been a demo that snuck through over on the right-hand side, but now heading down towards this last dock. You watch how quickly this one goes. Oh, no, turn around. There you go. Boom, 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 boom. There she goes. And now Viper's entire water infrastructure has been completely cleaned up. The Venga Boys have done all they need to do at this stage of the game. And yeah, now he's got complete water control. Viper stuck in Age 3. This is going to be tough for him to come out on top of this one.
Exactly. Viper is not far away from Imperial, but he's constantly forced to make some ships. So there's demo coming up for him. Not triggering it though, and with the attack ships having a bonus against those demolition ships, it's also difficult for Viper to get demo hits in there.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult for him because he's going to need to get the explosives researched, but at the same time, his opponent's already got it researched and he's already exploding stuff, and it's going to take him 15 minutes to do that because he's playing the deli. So if you can somehow manage to keep a dock alive for 15 minutes as the deli, I mean, good luck. Good on you, fella. I don't like your odds, though. I do not like your odds. Not at the moment. Not against MarineLorD. It is going to be very tough.
As you said, MarineLorD is just taking those docks down so fast that keeping one alive for 15 minutes to grab the explosive technology feels next to impossible. Of course, if you have mosques nearby empowering, it's a completely different story, but usually you don't have mosques inspiring your docks. Looks like MarineLorD isn't going to risk crossing the river just yet, though. He's got Elite Knights in, or already got the Boyar's Fortitude as well, which means that his cavalry is going to be extremely powerful here. One underappreciated fact is that the Boyar's Fortitude actually affects the Knights as well for the Rus, not just the horse archers.
Yeah, it seems to affect pretty much every unit they like making. The Knight, the Scout, the Horse Archer, the Warrior Monk. It's literally pretty much everything except for the Streltsy. But I'm sure we'll get an expansion at a later date, which will give Streltsy a cool little horse. That'll make them affected by Boyar's Fortitude. But now, Viper under potential threat as these demolition ships begin moving down. He actually drives or sails past a single demo ship that could have taken it out, heads back, makes sure that he takes it out. There she goes, and now two of those. Oh my god! Look at you can see the horses dying on the shoreline right now, despite them being absolutely nowhere near. Look at the explosive damage that comes out from these things. It is ridiculous, Lidakor. Gosh, devs, we talked about this last week, didn't we, Lidakor? We were casting a game, and I said we need to set a meeting for Monday, and we got to talk about these boom boom boys, because when they blow up, like, it is not just a blow up; it's a glow up as well. They're lighting up the entire area around them. It is crazy.
Viper able to keep some docks alive on the right side, and despite the fact that MarineLorD is grabbing some beautiful demolition ship hits in here, Viper is still surviving, and he's in Imperial Age now, getting some keeps going over here, some towers as well. There's a chance that he could try to keep a dock alive on the right side long enough to get the explosive stack over there. These scholars will have a very, very bad day over here running into the keeps fire.
Yeah, scholars are known for their inability to defeat keeps. I will say that much. That is it. But I'm curious. Do we actually have explosives coming out for Viper down towards this little western bit? Do we have it coming out? No, he's not even bothering. He's like, you know what? 15 minutes.
He has it. Whenever the game says...
he's going for it. No, yeah, you're right. Can we click on that other dock that you were just clicking on just for a second ago? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you can see it over on the... Yeah, what do we got? 13 minutes, 51 seconds. Set a timer for that. Hey, Siri, set a timer for 13 minutes, 52 seconds. All right, we're good. I'll let you know when it's finished.
Elite Knights now moving in on the right side. 348 HP is nothing to be ashamed of. It's actually one of the best Knight in late game. Almost comparable to the French fully upgraded Royal Knights. So as much as the French have the better knights in feudal age by far, in comparison to Rus, in late game, the Rus knights are no joke. And we're going to have a keep on the right side coming in. Some crossbows hitting the field here for Viper, but those will get picked apart by the keep very fast. Cannon emplacement coming in, boiling oil already on those keeps.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good at this point in time, but you're 100% on the money. When it comes to the late game, Rus have incredible knights. They've got the Boyar's Fortitude, also got the Biology on top of it. Obviously, just got all the normal normal upgrades that you get, but that Boyar's Fortitude is going to stack very well with Biology, getting the extra 20 health, and then on top of that, also getting the extra, I think is it an extra 20% on top of that? So it works out to be 24 health in total extra over other civilizations, so not too bad at all.
And he also has the attack upgrade, the Night Sabers. So they have 44 lance damage right now.
True.
On the other side, it's actually 38 for Viper, and Viper's got owned blades already. Of course, these are not elite yet, but the Night Sabers is also an upgrade that we don't really talk a lot about because it's an Imperial Age upgrade for the Knights. So usually you don't see them unless the Rus
plus 4
goes.
damage, is that right? Plus 4 damage, I think?
Something like
Night
that.
Sabers?
You rarely see it because usually Rus go for Horse Archers.
Yeah, that is very true. And Streltsy. We'll see those later. But yeah, we can see there's decent masses coming out. My concern at this point in time, Viper looks pretty good going into this. He's managed to hold up until this point. The big concern for me is demo ships and dealing with those demo ships. The big thing that Viper is going to need to do, obviously he's got to hold out for 11 minutes and 55 seconds. That's one thing that he's got to do. But really having the bombard advantage is what's going to give him this game. And you can see that he's up against MarineLorD at the moment, who's got the 2 bombards out. His elite upgrade has just come through for Viper. He's got to just be careful. You can see that he's secured up the majority of this river, and he's making sure that when he moves his units through, that they are going to be secure. But to be able to push through over towards his opponent's side, he's going to need a lot more bombards out for himself. But now beginning to push in, Lidakor, he's having a bit of a tough time getting past that stone mine. It looks like he's able to separate his units. Keep in mind that keep has got the boiling oil. We'll see it beginning to come down on top of those units. Bombards on the backline going to begin focusing down this keep and preventing it from doing too much damage over time. Arbaletier, or crossbows as they are otherwise known, going to begin firing off upon MarineLorD's units, begin to focus them down one by one. Viper's got huge numbers here, looking pretty decent, and you can see him animation cancelling. They pull out their lancers, and then they go back to their little sabers, I think they are, and then back to the lancers. Viper's numbers looking very strong right now. I said earlier, if you're not a fan of Viper when he's 0-2, don't you dare be a fan of him when he is 3-2. Viper looking incredibly good right now.
Those crossbows are just such a big difference maker right there. Having something to fire behind those knights is just immensely valuable, and you see MarineLorD is starting to add the Streltsy himself, but they were just a little too late to the party. MarineLorD getting pushed back quite heavily, and soon we're going to be fighting for those vital gold mines. On the left side, Viper still has one big gold mine, but this gold mine was just so crucial for MarineLorD. When he gets the Streltsy on board, though, I feel like his knights plus the Streltsy will be a better combination than the crossbows plus the lancers of Viper, but this is a big win right now for Viper. On the left side, though, the Lodya ships are getting closer and closer to those docks, and Viper is still 10 minutes away from explosives.
10 minutes. Stonewall the crossing, Viper. Do everything you can. We got 10 minutes left now, but keep in mind, if that does actually get killed while it's researching, I think it will still keep that technology's progress going, and then he'll be able to move on with it at another dock, some point in the future. But yeah, still plenty of time on that. Still plenty of time.
Long-range Springboard starting to make an appearance here for MarineLorD. He actually doesn't have the Siege Workshop upgrade on them just yet, just the one from the High Armory. So it's only 11, or excuse me, never mind, I'm looking at the wrong column. I'm also getting exhausted. It's not 11 range, it's 11 versus range. It's 30.5 indeed, so it's got all the upgrades on them. Another reason why the Rus are just so powerful in late game, as you said, the Streltsy, the Strong Knights, the Horse Archers, and then the long-range Springbolts being able to snipe down the siege weapons of the opponent. It's the longest range anti-siege weapon out here. They actually outrange Culverins as well.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. The Rus are such a dominant force when it comes to the late game, but once again, we see Viper doing the right thing. He's making bombards. He knows that he needs to have a significant mass of bombards if he actually wants to be able to beat the Rus here, and the main reason why is because when it gets to pushing across the crossing, That's what's going to be able to clear out those demo ships for him. He's going to be able to safely navigate through that crossing without any threat of demo ships, because they've just been a considerable threat the entire game. And he wants to make sure that he avoids that. But now we begin to see the mass building for MarineLorD once again. He's sitting up on 200 population. His army, I'll be honest with you, doesn't look that formidable. He's got mangonels out here as well, which is a little bit questionable. I don't know how I feel about the mangonels at this point, Lidakor.
It's a risky call, I would say, because that is 4 mangonels. And as you said in the previous game, 4 mangonels is the magnitude where you can start killing the knights as well quite effectively, especially because in that animation cancel melee that they will be fighting against the knights of MarineLorD, those mangonels could easily get some nice hits on top of them. The thing I'm a little concerned about here for MarineLorD is 2 things. First, his meat shield is very small, so the moment all these horsemen and knights go down, the mangonels and the Streltsy will be wide open for killing. And the other thing is that he's going horsemen, so MarineLorD is running low on gold. Now, he secured the gold mine on the left side temporarily, but this is something that Viper could contest any moment in the foreseeable future. The dog...
Yeah. MarineLorD actually doing a pretty good job with this single bombard. I love this from MarineLorD. This is really smart. Just having this bombard here, what he's going to be able to do with that bombard is apply pressure to the front. He's also got the villagers nearby to be able to heal that up as well if he wants to. So you can actually see the bombard is going to go down, so not paying enough attention. Obviously, there's a lot going on right now. Players probably sitting close to 300-400 APM, and that is just too many APM. But now we see a potential dive coming in. MarineLorD under potential attack as the Streltsy sit down and get their butts on the ground. That you can see them popping out their rifles. They are building up that attack, and now we've got Viper, who seems like he's a little bit underwhelming when it comes to the numbers, with the exception of the bombards. The bombards looking quite good on this front. Where are Viper's units at this point? He had such a huge mass coming out earlier of those lancers, but now it seems like they've been dwindled down to absolutely nothing. On the back line, the mangonels getting off great shots on those crossbows, managing to take out the majority of them. There's only a few that remain standing, and now it looks like the bombards are going to get taken out by not only the Streltsy, but the Springalds on the back line. Viper not looking good right now, Lidakor.
Not looking good at all, and the Streltsy are starting to mass in numbers. Bombards, mangonels working wonders here. There is still a crossing to cross over here, so there is some buffer zone over here for Viper, but this is a big victory here for MarineLorD. His siege was taken down by the Springalds, and really, don't underestimate the Streltsy either. They have an insane amount of firepower, as you said, and there was just enough meat shield for MarineLorD to absorb damage. Viper was also focusing some of his efforts to the left side, so part of the reason why some of his army wasn't present in that battle is because he was focusing on the left. He still keeps that dog alive, so 6 minutes to go, and we're seeing some war elephants hit the field. But now I feel like MarineLorD is one big challenge away from defeating Viper here, and that is getting through this river. There are gonna be demo ships, and you know that, but you also have long-range Springolds, you have the bombards out here. The first thing that you have to do is take down those dogs before you even consider crossing.
Yeah, that's the big thing. When it comes to this late game time, it is basically just clearing out the docks that are nearby to the crossing, and then moving across the crossing as quickly as everybody can to make sure that you get across. Now I'm curious, Viper or MarineLorD at the moment sits on 200 of 200 population. How many population is Viper sitting on at the moment?
Well, to be precise, MarineLorD is sitting at 201. Viper is at 170. Viper also lost the bombard here to the bombard emplacement of that keep out there. That's going to be annoying. Viper scrambling for defense, as it looks like the horsemen will make it through before the dogs are even taken down. They'll be short-lived. They'll all be massacred by the horsemen and the spearmen of Viper. Dogs are slowly being taken down, though. There is one demolition ship in the corner for Viper. Still no explosives, though. He has to wait 4.5 minutes for that, and that feels like eternity, to be honest.
I can't believe it's so long. It is absolutely ludicrous how long he has to wait for that. I can't believe it's a 15-minute tech. I mean, you know, he probably should have his Mosque out there, you know, buffing it up, but at the same time, that's just... isn't that just wild? But yeah, Viper now going to be losing out all the infrastructure on this shoreline. A single explosive down towards the corner. Going to get cleared out. MarineLorD is smarter than that. Or is he? Well, there we go. Springold's managing to spot it out. You can see the Dow making a run for it. He says, I'm going to put my foot down, and unfortunately it dies. And even if it had gotten to the shore, I suspect it wouldn't have mattered because he doesn't have that explosives upgrade anyway. So tough position right now for Viper as he does push out. Plenty of horsemen out here for him. Only looks like he's got the veteran ones out at this stage. He's going to be trying his best to deal with the Streltsy as he goes across the crossing. Backlers yet to come in and really provide any support for him, even though they are open. Archers on the back line also going to be coming in. Viper, without too much gold in his inventory, has decided that the Trash Army is going to be the best call for him. But we see how strong those Streltsy are on the back line, just doing so much work for him.
They are doing so much work, and now it's Elite Horseman he's facing with the Boyar's Fortitude upgrade. He's now adding some Hardened Spearmen. Lack of technology is now showing for Viper because he's got just Feudal Age Horsemen, Veteran Archers from Castle Age, Feudal Age Spearmen upgrades, so he's really lacking upgrades here on his units. On the left side, there is another push being assembled by MarineLorD, who's taking down those buildings. I feel like once that keep gets taken down, the docks could be at risk as well. There is still 3 minutes to go on that explosives.
Oh, jeez. Another 3 minutes. As you mentioned, 3 minutes in Age of Empires 4 is like 40 minutes in real life when it comes to these technologies. Like, there's just so much that goes on in those 3 minutes that, you know, you really got to start asking the question, like, is it even viable to get it at this point? It's just, you're so late into the game. You're so far behind where your opponent is because of it. And now Viper going to be trying to hold on. You see he's up to 187 population. A lot of this population is just in this trash army. You can see he's got the spears out, the horsemen. He's got the archers, just a couple Springles on the back, going to be trying to help out, but he's going to be going up against the hardest, the toughest Springles in the game from MarineLorD on the side of the Rus, and cleaning up the majority of forces here. Viper down to just his archers, and those elite horsemen are doing their best. How much armor they got on them, because they are absolutely tanking it up. It looks like they're about to go out. Now the Backlers finally turning their attention towards the enemy, but we do see a wall coming up across this crossing as well. MarineLorD looking to further control the narrative in this area of the map, and Viper having a very difficult time now, trying to force his way out, but unfortunately getting focused down. Look at the Springled mass beginning to build from MarineLorD. Has he forgotten what patch he's in? This is absolutely terrible damage right now for Viper. He is looking very fragile, and he taps out. MarineLorD takes the victory, 3-1 over the Viper, and moves forward to the final round, the grand final of the $20,000 Winter Championship.
What a show from both players. I feel like this was really a worthy ending to this set, because we had some shorter games, we had some less intense games, but we probably saved the best for last here, because this one was by far the best game of all. Really back and forth, because in many cases it really seemed like Viper is going to turn that around. We have seen some counterattacks from him hitting MarineLorD's economy, we have seen MarineLorD stalling out on water. And then we had that big fight on the right side that you mentioned, where MarineLorD's forces just disappeared, but then Streltsy make their appearance, and really, if you have something in front of Streltsy, they are just exceptionally powerful, way more powerful than the hand cannoneers are, and that dip in Viper's army is probably the result of that. As soon as the Streltsy hit the field, and MarineLorD just had some horsemen to support them, he started dominating fights, and of course demolition ships, the fishing eco that he has had, those slowly ground down Viper. Also, 3 relics as opposed to 2, and MarineLorD had at least 3 sacred sites for a long time. Viper did a good job contesting those sacred sites, but ultimately MarineLorD always had more map control, so MarineLorD also had the advantage on the sacred site department, finishing the game with almost 40,000 gold as opposed to 28,000 from Viper.
Yeah. Look, if I was going to give the MVP in the entire series over to a single thing, I would have to say it's got to be that Kremlin. I don't know about you, but that Kremlin stood the test of time, managed to survive numerous backlers, didn't really do too much, but hey, we saw a Kremlin today.